Thank you. Can you talk a little bit about the significance of this rally in Virginia tomorrow and just how much more time you think the president is going to spend on the issue of abortion between now and November?
I can't speak to the rally tomorrow directly because that's a campaign event, so it's a political event. What I can say is that the president has been prioritizing and delivering on reproductive freedom for his entire administration, starting with creating the Gender Policy Council and asking me, actually before Dobbs, to help lead the administration's whole of government approach to Texas SB 8. And then, of course, once Dobbs came down, to mobilize the entire administration's efforts. And he will continue to do that. And of course, the vice president, who's been a leader on this issue, will continue to be that leader. She's, as you just heard, in Wisconsin right now. She will, of course, be part of the rally tomorrow with all 4 of the principals participating, and she will be around the country. She's met with legislative leaders, state and local officials around the country, and they will both continue to draw the sharp contrast between what this administration stands for and what Republican elected officials stand for the months to come.
Just bouncing off of MJ, though, do you feel that the White House is reaching the limits of what it can do when it comes to abortion rights without congressional action?
Again, I think, the president was quite clear. He literally said it, within an hour of the Dobbs decision coming down, that the only way to restore the rights that were lost, the fundamental constitutional right that was lost, that was protected for nearly 50 years under Roe versus Wade, is to have federal legislation. And that's why his entire administration is laser focused on that. And he has made it entirely clear that when Congress sends him that legislation, he will sign it immediately. I don't think that means that there's nothing we can do. I think there's quite a lot we can do, and I think that's evidenced by what we've done so far in all the categories that I mentioned, but really to protect access to reproductive health care in this country.
Can the federal government help to define some of the circumstances that women have found themselves in when medical questions about is it the life of the mother at risk, where state law may not spell it out very clearly or clearly enough? Is there a role for the federal government there? And since some of these instances do result in ordinary citizens having to get involved in litigation, is there something that the administration can do to support them in pursuing those remedies?
Yeah, I think, to state the obvious, we are seeing a lot of chaos, legal chaos and medical chaos because of the overturning of Roe versus Wade and the state abortion bans that have been passed across the country. It just bears mentioning that there are 21 states with abortion bans right now. That means that 27 million women, of reproductive age, 1 in 3, are living in states with those bans. There are federal tools. So the one that we are talking about today that we are going to build off of EMTALA, the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. The administration has long held the view that law requires that when somebody walks into an emergency room requiring emergency care to stabilize their medical condition, that treatment, even if it includes abortion, is required under federal law. So I think, that's one of the things that we're trying to make sure that, as I said, patients know what their rights are, know how they can file a complaint. But even before you get to that providers know what is required of them under that federal law, and that's what we will be doing more of.
So you think you can add clarity where there is confusion at this point?
Yeah, again, to return where we started, ultimately, the only way to ensure that women in every state across the country have the right that they lost when Roe was overturned is to pass a piece of federal legislation restoring Roe. But I do think this is an important step in that direction.